Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching and Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channels. Obviously, this is Pro Wrestling Logic. We continue our foray into the Wrestling Challenge Review Series. Not exactly your, series of the best matches in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but still good for childlike good times as we foray into the 30th of May, 1993 here. Uh, Opening up with Shawn Michaels being dominated in the, on I guess Superstars, because the Superstars um, sign is behind them. Michaels still your Intercontinental Champion. Michaels is going to face off against Crush at the King of the Ring. We don't fully know that yet, but Crush in ring pretty quickly, and Crush still managing to be one of the bigger baby faces at the time, not doing his heel turn quite yet. Going off against an enhancement talent here. Basic maneuvers and all of that stuff as we move forward towards things here. And this is the facing off against Chris Duffy here. Duffy falls in submission to the head vice. 233. Duffy, of course, a pretty big enhancement guy in New England area at the time, and this show happening from Portland, Maine. Clotheslines and basic stuff. Crush also hits the one-handed backbreaker and the nature of the neck vice or whatever have you. Event Center plugging the return to Madison Square Garden on June 12th. Perfect and Lex Luger still on the card, even though Luger is going to turn pretty soon. The Giant Gonzalez and The Undertaker are going to be there too. And Tatanka and Bam Bam Bigelow. Bigelow had knocked out Tatanka and cut bits of his hair off there. Also, Shawn Michaels being forced to face Razor Ramon in run of the babyface turn to come. Proof that the turn probably was going to be pretty successful because Razor had not turned yet, but a full turn certainly by summer of '93 is here. We move to Jay Sledge and Russ Greenberg facing off against the Head Shrinkers here. Pretty basic stuff, of course. Afa is the manager, handler, whatever of the Head Shrinkers. Samu and Fatu. Big double, kind of almost backdrop. I guess you'd say front face drop by that team, and then there's a toss to the outside. Hard shots there, double Irish whip, double back kicks by the Samoans, and they managed to hit things pretty well here. Then we see that coming along as it were, and again we get to a pretty basic thing here. And ultimately, they do go back and kind of re-show Razor Ramon being made fun of for taking the losses to the 1-2-3 Kid. Jim Duggan is up next. Hacksaw, of course, still kind of here. Will be in King of the Ring in a couple of weeks. Facing off against Bam Bam Bigelow in what ends up being a losing effort for the Hacksaw. And Duggan in an enhancement match here. He's pretty regular on Challenge at the time. Kind of a B-show level guy at the time. Jim Duggan beats L.A. Gore. 244. Running clothesline, some body slams, basic stuff. Swings him around and gets all things going Duggan's way. Duggan certainly has the crowd in the palm of his hand. Then we go to another in the series of enhancement matches here. Bam Bam Bigelow and Jason Knight. 214. Bigelow over Knight, and obviously that would be expected with the push that's coming for one Bam Bam Bigelow. The confrontation as Jerry Lawler calls out Sensational Sherry and also Luna Vachon. Luna had been letting the King know that she considered herself to be the most beautiful woman in the WWF. Don't know what mirror she's looking in there, but it is what it is. And then we see Bam Bam Bigelow, as mentioned in this squash match. He has a bit of the hair of Tatanka for his trouble. Moving on to that feud right after King of the Ring. Jason gets a couple of, and it's Jason Knight of ECW fame, gets a couple of moves off, a couple of drop kicks, but an enziguri from Bigelow ends that pretty quickly. Bigelow then comes up, hits a body slam, goes to the top rope, hits the top rope headbutt, and ultimately pretty in control there. Then the King of the Ring tournament report. Obviously, Yokozuna still getting ready for Hulk Hogan. Mr. Fuji promises that loss to be avenged. This is probably the final promo, unless it's at the pay-per-view, from Hulk Hogan regarding the King of the Ring, as he kind of promises to get rid of Yokozuna and sink him once and for all, needing the help of the Hulkamaniacs. Bret Hart says he's the number one seed in the King of the Ring tournament, and he will not be outdone. Tatanka mentioned going at Lex Luger in the 8-man tournament and promising to defend the honor of all Native Americans everywhere. Then we go to Virgil in an enhancement match. Virgil certainly does seem to like to have a little bit of fun there, and ultimately does look like he's having more fun than the average enhancement talent guy here in that run of time. Then we kind of go to Adam Bomb and Virgil. Adam Bomb defeats Virgil in 2 minutes 22 seconds with a powerbomb. Johnny Polo, aka Raven, the manager of Adam Bomb at the time, and slingshot and all of that by Bomb. Not exactly a stellar match, but then again, it doesn't need to be here in 1993, as Adam Bomb gets a couple of power moves, the power bomb and the slingshot clothesline most notably, gets a victory for himself, and there we go. We will be back with more right after this.